Reveal Jesus, releasing destinies. This is Celebration TV.
Amounted to 15.7 trillion naira at the end of December 2019.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross of
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor, Ibikunle Amosun.
It's Tuesday, 9th February 2021. Welcome to News Desk on Celebration TV. I'm Belly Squatter and thanks for joining us today. Now the news making the rounds. Buhari's COVID-19 jail treats states list enforcement obstacles as Nigerians shun compliance. Former rebel chiefs named in Sudan's new cabinet. Trump impeachment, Senate paves way for speedy trial of ex-president. Federal government planning to replace BVN with NIN, says Minister. Eze wins Palace Best Player Award. Stay with us as the details of the news come after this break. Welcome back, and now the news in details. Buhari's COVID-19 jail threat, states list enforcement obstacles as Nigerians shun compliance. State governments explained obstacles to the enforcement of COVID-19 Health Protection Regulation 2021, which was signed by President Muhammadu Buhari on January 27. It has been observed that many residents are not complying with COVID-19 protocols such as wearing of face masks and social distancing. And officials of states governments, including Cross River, Akwa Ibom, Enugu, and Niger states, explained difficulties in enforcing their safety rules as the police vowed to use coercive measures to ensure compliance. And according to the regulation signed by the president, any person that contravenes provisions of the regulations upon conviction risks a fine or a term of 6 months imprisonment, or both, in accordance with Section 5 of the Quarantine Act. And while Cross River State's Commissioner for Health, Dr. Betta Edu, attributed low compliance to lack of political will, the Akwa Ibom State Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Ini Ememobong, linked non-enforcement of the protocols to the police. And the Enugu State Commissioner for Information, Mr. Chidi Aro, said this with the high level of non-compliance, mass arrest of people would be difficult. And now moving forward, the Senate debates service chiefs, ambassadorial nominees and others as National Assembly resumes. The National Assembly resumes plenary today, marking the end of the Parliament's Christmas and New Year break. Both the Senate and the House of Representatives has passed the 2021 appropriation bill on December 21, 2019, following which they adjourned plenary till January 26, 2021. And the resumption was postponed till February 9 due to the ongoing nationwide membership registration and revalidation exercise by the ruling All Progressive Congress, which has majority of members in both chambers. And the Senate starts the consideration of the communication sent to it by President Muhammadu Buhari while on recess. And the presidency had sent two separate communications to the Senate seeking confirmation for the service chiefs and their predecessors who were nominated as non-career ambassadors. And some senators are also expected to raise motion on the insecurity in the country and the issue of cryptocurrency ban, amongst other national issues. And however, the Senate's leader, Abdullahi Yahaya, said the screening and confirmation of the former service chiefs and ambassadors will pass normal legislative procedure. And moving forward in another development, DSS arrests and releases SANU and NASU officials over ongoing strike. 7 officials of the Non-Academic Staff Union and Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities at the University of Ilorin, Kwara State have been interrogated in connection with the ongoing nationwide strike by non-academic university workers. The officials arrested by men of the Department of State Services include the National Financial Secretary of the SANU, Mr. M.J. Akambi, and Branch Secretary of SANU, T.M. Sahid, Branch Secretary of NASU, Comrade Flourish Josephine, and Kwara State Council State Secretary of NASU, Comrade Owoye Idris Alata, and Adejumo Olushola, and the stakeholders of the NASU and SANU respectively. And the SANU branch chairman, Olumayowa Oyedipo, said that they commenced the nationwide strike and went round the offices to check if the members are at work. And the industrial action started on a good note with total compliance by members until the DSS came to invite the chairman of the SANU and NASU for questioning at their state offices at the instance of the university management. And Oyedipo said that the DSS interrogated their members for about 2 hours before they were released. And moving forward to news from around Africa, former rebel chiefs named in Sudan's new cabinet. Sudan's Prime Minister Abdallah Hamdok announces a new cabinet bringing in 7 ex-rebel chiefs as ministers following a peace deal in October aimed to end decades of war. And veteran rebel leader and economist Jibril Ibrahim on the Justice and Equality Movement, the GEM, which played a major role in the Darfur conflict, was appointed as Sudan's new finance minister. And Hamdok dissolved the previous cabinet to make way for a more inclusive lineup in government. And 2 ministers were selected from the military, with the remaining coming from the Forces of Freedom and Change group, which play a key role in Sudanese politics. And the group was the driving force behind the anti-government protests that led to the April 2019 ouster of strongman Omar al-Bashir. And Hamdok named as the Foreign Minister Mariam al-Sadiq al-Mahid, former daughter of Sudan's last democratic elected Prime Minister Sadiq al-Mahid, who died aged 84 in November from coronavirus infection. And still from around Africa, United Nations and Ethiopia strike deal for food aid in war-hit Tigray. The United Nations Food Agency has said it has agreed to a deal with Ethiopia to expand access for aid workers and scale up operations in the war-hit Tigray region. United Nations officials repeatedly complain about the lack of humanitarian access to the northern region as fears grow of a humanitarian disaster, especially starvation. And the governments and the WFP have agreed on the concrete steps to expand access for humanitarians across Tigray, and the WFP will scale up its operations. The conflicts erupted on November 4th after Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed ordered a military offensive against Tigray's former governing party before declaring victory almost a month after thousands of civilians are believed to have died and millions have fled their homes. We're going to short break right now. When we come back, we'll give you more details and more updates from the United States of America. Stay with us.
You often wonder how best you can be appreciated. Determined you are passionate to achieve it. All this serve one purpose: to get you viewers involved in our 2 days live studio session on the 8th and 9th of February 2021 to celebrate our 17th anniversary. Ebenezer. So start sending in your messages now on how Omega Fire Ministries has imparted and been a blessing to you. The first 100 messages gets to be read live on Celebration TV. Also features calling session on +234 814 048 8093. Make haste, your message is amongst the first 100 that will be read live. You often wonder how best you can be appreciated. Determined you are passionate.
Praise be the name of the Lord. This is the day the Lord has made. We'll rejoice and be glad in it. My name is Dr. Lizzie Johnson Suleiman of Omega Fire Ministries, wife of Apostle Johnson Suleiman. God has made manifest with omnipotent passion His glory in Omega Fire Ministries worldwide. By His leading, we convert as joyful worshippers from every tribe, every tongue, people, and nation. This February, oh yes, this February, God through His choice servant is set to rain His glory in our lives. God is set to rain His glory in your life. Therefore, let us prepare and bring our affections in line with His. Oh yes, as we receive God's general, our Father in the Lord, Daddy E.A. Adeboye of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, for their 17th anniversary celebration. Oh, I'm so excited. Anniversary celebration of Omega Fire Ministries. It's Ebenezer 2021. And of course, my husband, God's choicest servant, Apostle Johnson Suleiman, the Restoration Apostle, will be ministering alongside myself. On the 14th, we are receiving our Father. You don't want to miss this for anything. At the International Worship Center of Omega Fire Ministries. Be there.
Ebenezer 2021.
Welcome back. Now, updates from the United States of America. Trump impeachment, Senate paves way for speedy trial of ex-president. The second impeachment trial of Donald Trump begins today as Senate leaders agree a rapid timetable. The former president is charged with inciting insurrection in a speech to supporters ahead of the deadly riot at the U.S. Capitol on the 6th of January. And Democrats say they have overwhelming evidence of his guilt, while his defense team claim rioters acted independently. And the defense called the trial absurd and unconstitutional, and its legality of it will be a focus today. And Mr. Trump is the only U.S. president in history to have been impeached twice, and one of the only three to have been impeached at all. And if convicted, he will be banned from holding any office again. but a two-thirds of 100-seat Senate is required to convict the Democrats, and the Democrats hold 50 seats, and there is a little sign enough Republicans will join them. And more updates now from Asia. Myanmar coup, police clamp down as protesters defy ban on gatherings. Police in Myanmar fire water cannons to disperse protesters who have taken to the streets despite a ban on large public gatherings. And the military has prohibited gatherings of more than 5 people in the cities of Yangon and Mandalay with a curfew. The rules are brought in after 3 straight days of mass protests following the overthrow of Aung San Suu Kyi, elected as government in a coup. And the military leaders, Min Aung Hlaing, warns that no one is above the law, and although he did not issue any direct threat to the protesters. But the mood remains defiant as protesters calling for democracy to be restored return to the streets today. And now on business news, petrol landing cost rises to 180 naira and oil crosses $60. The landing cost of premium motor spirits, that's petrol imported into the country, has risen by 13.34% in 1 month to about 180 naira per liter on the back of the increase in the global oil price. And crude oil price accounts for a large chunk of the final cost of petrol, and the deregulation of petrol price by the federal government last year means that the pump price of the product will reflect changes in the international oil market. And going by the petrol pricing template of the Petroleum Products Pricing Regulatory Agency, the landing cost of petrol rose by 179 naira per liter from 158 naira per liter, with the expected open market of the product increasing to 202 naira per liter from 181 per liter. And the rising price of crude oil pushes the cost of petrol quoted on Platts to $543 per metric ton from $480 per metric ton. And the international oil benchmark, Brent crude, rose to $59.34 per barrel from $53.7 per barrel. And apart from the changes in global crude oil price, the exchange rate of naira to dollar also affects the cost of imported petrol. And the devaluation of the naira last year contributed to the significant rise in the landing cost of petrol. And still on business news, federal government planning to replace BVN with NIN, says the minister. The Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Dr. Issa Pantami, says the federal government plans to replace bank verification numbers with the national identity numbers. And the minister said this after a facility tour and inspection of the ongoing NIN enrollment exercise at the NIMC and other designated centers in Abuja. And he said he has made a presentation to the National Economic Sustainability Committee and drew the attention of the Central Bank of Nigeria's governor on the need to replace BVN with NIN. And according to him, the BVN is a regulator's policy while the NIN is a law. And the minister notes that the BVN is only applicable to those who have a bank account, while NIN was for every citizen and legal resident in the country. We're going to another short break. After then, we'll bring you news from the world of sports. Stay with us.
So many miracles happening here. Shout Glory is the opposite of shame.
Jesus is the Lord to the glory of God the Father.
Date 9 through 14 February 2021 by 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. daily. Live at the International Worship Center, kilometer 132 Benino, Kenya, Abuja Expressway, Auchi, Edo State, Nigeria. For inquiries, please call +234 806 464 6180. The glory is coming for you.
Welcome back now from the world of sports. Federal government and Edo State proposed April 8 to 22nd as festival date. The federal government and the Edo State government have made a joint proposal for the National Sports Festival tagged Edo 2020 to be held from either April 8 to 22nd or April 10 to 22nd in Benin City, the Edo State capital. The festival, which was first scheduled for March 22nd to April 2nd, 2020, has suffered postponements twice and is now billed to hold in April after it was shifted from February 14 to 28 at the National Council on Sports meeting held via Zoom. The proposal was made at the NCS emergency meeting, which was convened by the Sports Minister Sunday Dare, who also doubles as the chairman of the council. And in attendance were State's Sports Commissioners, Director of Sport, Permanent Secretaries, and the Deputy Governor of Edo State, Philip Shaibu. The decision for both dates were reached in order to ensure that the festival did not clash with academic activities at the University of Benin, one of the designated venues of the event. And lastly, on our sports news and on the news desk, Eze wins Palace Best Player Award. Eberechi Eze has been named Crystal Palace Player of the Month for January 2021, the Premier League side has announced. Eze was impressive in January, scoring 2 brilliant goals against Sheffield United and Wolverhampton Wanderers to help Palace secure vital wins in both games. And despite suffering 2 defeats in the league matches played last month, the former Queen's Park Rangers player was impressive in Palace's matches against Arsenal, Manchester City, West Ham United and Wolverhampton Wanderers. And on while the 22-year-old forward won the accolade for the club's best player in January, the club wrote and said Eze kick-started January with the Premier League goal of the month nominated strike against Sheffield United and rounded it off with his fizzing effort against Wolverhampton Wanderers. And that's the size of the news for us today on Celebration Television News Desk. If you're just joining us right now, here is a recap of the news making the headlines. Buhari's COVID-19 jail threat, states list enforcement obstacles as Nigerians shun compliance. Former rebel chiefs are named in Sudan's new cabinet. Trump impeachment, Senate paves way for speedy trial of ex-president. Federal government planning to replace BVN with NIN, says the minister. And Eze wins Palace Best Player Award. And today on our photo of the day, you can see that picture on your screen, and you see that a lot of people are moving to one direction and just one person is moving the opposite direction. And it may look like you are the only one going the opposite direction. That doesn't make you wrong. You may even be the only right person amongst the many. Be firm with the truth. Never follow the crowd even when it looks foolish. You can also tell us your thoughts on the photo of the day today. Do that on our different social media platforms. On Facebook, we are Celebration TV. On Instagram, we are My Celebration TV. On Twitter, it is at My Celebration TV. And on YouTube, it is Celebration TV. Your positive contribution to the wellness of the society you find yourself in or the organization you work in defines your leadership might. As an individual who knows what to do and do without expecting to be pushed has backed his ways to success. And be it known today that everything we do, think, feel, and believe either have a positive or a negative effect on humanity and our national well-being. So be a part of nation building today. Thanks for watching the news on Celebration TV News Desk. I am Belis Quetta, and have a nice day.
To 15.7 trillion naira at the end of December 2019.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross offence.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor, Ibikunle Amosun.